267-495-4866 or DougKarnsProgram@gmail.com is the email. Or you can go to our YouTube page and listen to our previous recorded shows right there on YouTube. Just search for the Doug Karns Program, and there's a bunch of episodes you can catch up on if you missed any old show. And I know, AJ, you're a frequent
frequent flyer.
Yeah.
Frequent YouTuber. That is I.
Yeah, and always checking out the show. So you can, too. Just go to youtube.com and search for the Doug Karns Program and listen to all the old shows. All right, so we're finishing up the Santorum audio that we can't get to because we keep ranting on something else. So let's just go ahead and play here. We'll come back and talk about it.
Playing field. I describe the way I look at what government's supposed to do. I hate to do this to you, Essie. As a football game.
I love football.
We were just talking about this stuff. And, you know, I believe in a referee that's running up and down the sidelines. We have rules in the game. Their job is to enforce them. They don't call every holding play. They call the ones that affect the game. The libertarians...
Okay, so this is where I have a problem again. So he's saying that the government is the referee in the free market game. And they don't call every holding play. So you're saying some people can get away with something and some people can't?
I don't know if that's what he means. I think it's more they use discretion as far as... Yeah,
but the government's not there to have discretion. Like, once you give a government power for discretion, they take more and more because they feel like they know best. You know, you're supposed to... The whole point of the Constitution is supposed to limit the government from doing anything, so they don't have discretion on anything.
But I think what his analogy is, he's trying not to draw out the game to make it last 10 hours and calling every single little foul, and instead just hitting the major ones. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but I think that's what he's getting at.
I guess because we both come from where we say the government should not have a role in anything in the economy. So I guess why do we need a referee? Like, do you believe that the government has a role in the economy?
No, just as you said earlier about, prosecuting criminals, and that's the only. Yeah, if you say you withhold pay from an employee and he worked 40 hours that week, just because he did something wrong, you can't withhold pay, and he should be prosecuted for that if an employer did that. That's where the government should come in, but they shouldn't have a say on how you should do business. There should be a referee there to... Yeah, and that's where we're at today, is them actually regulating. It's like they're a part of the board, the chairs. And
I mean, look at the CAFE standards. I just read the article a couple weeks ago. The CAFE standards they have on cars now, like it's been for the last 20 years. Cars have gotten 40% less safer because of CAFE standards. Because CAFE standards are the environmental standards they have on cars, saying it can't be a certain weight so you can get more gas mileage. So less weight means less metal between you and
just like
the next car.
My car, I didn't realize I did not have a spare tire until I got home and lifted up the back of the trunk and realized, and it made sense.
It's probably because it's less weight. The car has to
took off another
because your car's a V8.
Yeah.
So they probably figured, hey, less weight on the car means better gas mileage for the engine.
Yep.
And it makes cars less safe. I mean, if you look at a little Chevy Aveo or something like that, you get in a major accident in that thing, you're most likely going to be hurt.
But it gets 375 miles a gallon.
Yeah, sure, but you might not be able to drive that car ever again when you're a quadriplegic.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah. So it just, when government gets involved and trying to, I'd rather drive a safe car rather than a better mileage car. I mean, I want to know if I get in an accident. That's why people chose SUVs in the 2000s, because they knew SUVs were a safer. If you get in an accident, it's a safer car. There's more to the car between you and the next car that you're hitting, and that's why a lot of families drive SUVs, because it's a lot safer for their kids.
Well, the Chevy Volt's pretty safe because it only goes like 16 miles an hour.
And it's really safe because it catches fire in the front of the car before it catches fire in the back, so you have more time to get out of it.
And I mean, you can only go like 16 miles from your house as well.
What's the greatest thing about the Chevy Volt thing? The government had to buy all these Chevy Volts back from the consumers. So the government owns GM. So we own GM. All right, so we give out tax credits for buying a Chevy Volt. So we're paying ourselves to buy a Chevy Volt. And then the Chevy Volt catches fire. Then we have to buy it back from ourselves again to replace them and then give these cars back to ourselves again. This is a horrible, horrible business model by the government.
It kind of reminds me of how, we create the U.S. dollar and we pay the Federal Reserve, a private bank, we pay them interest to create money. Like, you're the government. You just create the money. Why are you paying someone interest on the money? It doesn't make any sense.
And it goes back to what me and Joe talked about last week about, what's his name, Jesse Jackson Jr., about how he wants us to have a bailout for the average American where we employ 15 million people by paying them $40,000 a year to clean up parks and stuff. Therefore, they, spark the economy with their money. But where does that money come from the government? We're just basically paying ourselves to pay ourselves again and then pay the government. So it's a big round circle. I mean, those 15 million government employees that we would employ, they'd be paying taxes. So it's almost like a roundabout. The money goes, we pay the government, and then the government pays us, and then we pay the government again. And then that's not how it works.
That's the definition of
communism.
Capital. Yeah.
Crony capitalism.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. I promise we'll finish this Rick Santorum audio right now.
Believe that there should be rules, but no referee. That really everybody should be able to be trusted to do whatever they think is right. And the left believes the referee should be the quarterback and be able to call the plays and run it, make sure you score. That's the difference.
I think the sales pitch,
and we take the Reagan conservative approach.
Well, I think the sales pitch is beyond just distinguishing yourself from libertarians. In other words, let's ask a couple specifics. So, you oppose NAFTA. You've been opposed to several, or you've been for several tariffs.
Let's take it one at a time. NAFTA. You know when I voted for NAFTA? I voted against NAFTA. I represented a 71% district, Democratic district. I represented the entire Steel Valley of Pittsburgh.
This is a fair point.
Okay?
That's a fair point.
All right. To stop here, if you're not familiar with NAFTA, it's the North American Free Trade Agreement. And it's saying that, hey, we'll have free trade. We won't tax your trade, into this country, and we won't, hopefully you won't tax us outside of the, when we come into your country with goods. My thoughts on NAFTA, and AJ, let me know what your thoughts are. That I think NAFTA, if we had a very free market here, NAFTA is a good thing. But as of right now, since we have such a restriction on the markets and all this taxation, NAFTA actually hurts us more than it helps us because it gives more competition overseas to where, they might have cheaper wages and cheaper taxes and sell cheaper goods here than we can to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do you agree? Do you not agree? Do you
go on?
Want me to shut up? Do you want me to just turn off the mic now and go home? Or?
I am contemplating what just came out of your mouth.
Okay, so all I'm saying is that NAFTA is and actually hurts us right now because it gives places like China more. It gives them a way to sell stuff here. The Apple iPhone is made in China.
All right, now you're talking my.
Okay.
Continue.
So it's made in China because the manufacturing jobs are cheaper there because they pay people a lot less, and the taxation's a lot less. Now, if we tax that iPhone coming in, it would stop Apple from making the iPhone over there because it would be the same amount of costs whether it's made here or China. But if we had a free market where we had a very low corporate tax rate, very low manufacturing rate and everything, we would actually just make them here, and it would give countries a fair chance to compete for those jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where a lot of this could be avoided if we just, I feel like we go through so many complicated steps to have a free market when, let's get to the root of the problem and why Apple is going overseas to have them, assemble their products.
Yeah, the iPhone's designed here, but it's made in China. Only because it's cheaper. It's not because Apple's like, I hate America, I'm going to send the jobs over to China. No, it's because it's cheaper there. You can sell the phone at a Apple sells at a premium price, but Apple could sell the phone for, a lower price when it's made in China than it is if it's made here. Between the union jobs, because unions demand so much more money, and the taxation by the government. So I that's just my random thought on NAFTA. But my main point on here with Rick Santorum is that I give him a point. I give him a pro point in the pro column. That's what I'm trying to say to Rick Santorum, because at least he has good character where he said, okay, I represent a Democratic state with the steel mills, and the NAFTA hurts them because NAFTA allows for stuff to be imported at a lesser price. So at least I give him a character point. Do you agree with me on this?
Yeah.
That at least he voted for his constituents. He didn't vote for how he thinks he should vote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I give him a character point there. So that's my point with Rick Santorum. This is where I kind of trust his character more than I trust a Ron Paul or a Newt Gingrich or Mitt Romney. Because Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich are totally out of the question for me. They're too big government. They're just a lighter Obama. And this election needs to be an anti-Obama. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm at with Romney and Newt. I don't want to have another McCain that I have to vote for just because it's just not Obama.
I get tired of hearing people say, we need someone who will beat Obama, and it's all about Obama. Like, that's where we need to get away from. We need to elect someone that we know will do what needs to be done to restore America and the idea of capitalism and a free market, and not just, as long as we get anyone in there but Obama, we'll be safe, we'll be good. And it just gets so tired. I get tired of hearing that argument over and over again.
And it's been almost 4 years, and our unemployment is worse than what he started with. And he puts the blame on Bush every single time.
It just went down, though, the other day from 9% to 8.5%.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
And it's not like the government, makes those numbers to begin with. So
no, because if that's the U3 number, if you actually put the U6 number, which takes 6 different unemployment rates, it's actually at 16%.
You can't even use their numbers. It doesn't even make sense.
You not to sound like a crazy libertarian, but you can't trust the government in a lot of stuff when they report stuff.
Well, they're the ones making the rules, and then you're also going to trust their numbers are completely accurate. It just doesn't make
No, it doesn't make sense. But again, I just don't want to vote for another McCain just because, I hated McCain. I thought he was one of the worst candidates that anybody can offer. But I knew who Obama was. I knew he was a socialist/Marxist. And I really did not want to vote for Obama, so I had to vote for McCain. And I feel like this is what's going to happen again this election.
It will be the exact same thing.
It's going to be a Mitt Romney where I agree with maybe one thing he says, 2 things he says. And
now, if he can put us back, though, on the track of, all right, maybe we get somebody that's still moderate.
No, because
then maybe the next election.
Here's the thing. He's going to do maybe one good thing, and that one good thing actually might cause a little unemployment at first to rise. And then everybody's going to put the blame on it, and then we'll go right back to like a Hillary Clinton or Obama, or
just
you know what I'm saying?
Back and forth.
We need somebody that makes a drastic change, or the country is going downhill and it's going down fast. We're talking about 10 years from now, we're not going to have a country. It's going to be demolished by our debt.
You're crazy. You're just a conspiracy theorist.
That's me. You know me. Taking logic and making it into a conspiracy. All right, we're up against a hard break. We'll be right back after this.